Okay, everybody, in today's video we're going to be looking at the Finnish M28-30 Mosin Nagant, and this was the Civil Guard's kind of furthest evolution of the Mosin that they made, at least strictly for Civil Guard use. And it basically went into production in 1933 and would continue on until 1940 when Seiko would switch to the replacement for the rifle, the M39. And the major change of this rifle compared to the M28 was the rear sight on it. It was designed by Harry Mensner, who was a reservist in the Civil Guard, and he designed this sight, which is just a very nice sight that is finely adjustable. I think it's adjustable in 25-meter increments. Could be wrong about that, but it's adjustable from 200 up to 1,000 on this ramp if you just pull the buttons and push it forward. And then if you flip the sight up, it's adjustable all the way up to 2,000. But the rear sight was changed over from the original M28, and the original rifles would have the M28 style front sight, and the only differences would really be the rear sight and the handguard and a aluminum ring they put on the barrel, sort of like on the Swiss K11 and G11 rifles. And then later on, and I believe 1936, they added this upgrade of a bolt through the stock to help stop stock cracking when using bayonets. They also added an improved cleaning rod thread hole that the cleaning rod threads into, and then they added on the improved front sight, which is adjustable with screws instead of just being in a dovetail like usual. And that was kind of the final variation of front sight for the Finnish Mosins. And this is the serial number right here for the rear sight. Each individual rear sight had a serial number put on it in the beginning, and then later on they stopped putting serial numbers on them, but that was kind of the most expensive thing on this rifle aside from the barrel. And the barrels would begin being made in Finland, because originally they were, or the steel for the barrels would be made in Finland, because originally they were using Swedish steel, but then they switched to Finnish steel for them. And this rifle is the one that would be famously used by the White Death. Simo Helha, I believe is how you properly say his name. At least I hope I'm saying it right. And he would be pretty much regarded as the most the deadliest sniper of all time with one of these rifles, and he preferred to have iron sights instead of telescopic ones, because there was less chance of being seen from the glare of a scope. And there would be about 32,000 of these made, and they fit the standard M28 or M27 bayonets. And these would be used during the Winter War, and the Finnish army would pretty quickly become very envious of these, which they were only used by the Civil Guard, and that would lead to the development of the M39. And if you have an M39, you'll know this rear sight is practically identical in construction. And yeah, these would be used all throughout the Winter War, continue on being used into the Continuation War, and they were finally surplused in the 1980s. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about it, so let's get into shooting it a couple times. Alright, we're going to start out with 5 rounds down at 100 yards. And one thing I forgot to mention during the intro is that the earlier produced guns from 1933, they won't have a date on the barrel, so if your gun doesn't have a date on it, and the serial number is a lower one, then it's probably a 1933 produced gun. Which that was the same year that Simo Hayes was produced. His serial number was 35281. So if you're at home and you got really lucky, you just yelled bingo. Oh. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Load our rounds back in through the top. I think this kind of goes back to what I was saying with the M28s, is a lot of the springs in these magazines seem to be really worn out. So hopefully the magazine doesn't fall open again. Alright, we're back. We put a field remedy into the magazine to hold it closed. Well, that's all 5 of them. Alright, here's our group. We got these 4 real close together, and then this one just a little bit off. But all, you know, pretty good elevation wise, and just a little bit off to the right. Pretty good group. Alright, we're going to load up 5 rounds down to 100 yards. And another thing I think I forgot to mention with this particular one is that the Civil Guard number on this one put it to a town right on the border of Finland, right next to St. Petersburg. That's all 5 of them. Alright, here's our group. This time we got 3 on the paper, and then these 2 just on the edge of the paper. But that's another really nice group. I was kind of aiming right here this time, and that definitely put it a little bit more on center. Alright, we're going to load up Another 5 rounds at 100 yards. Stripper clip being a little bit difficult. This rifle is incredibly accurate. This one still has some, room to be adjusted, so at some point we'll have to get it adjusted more on center so we won't be having to do Kentucky windage, but still a really accurate gun. That's all 5 of them. Alright, here's our next group, and it's a bit of a wider one. I think that's just for me though. We're kind of against the clock with the rain, so another good group out of this gun. Really nice shooting rifle. Okay everybody, that's going to be it for the video. We had a lot of fun with the Finnish M28-30. It's a really nice rifle and just has a lot of cool history to it, being that, it was used by the White Death, and these are just really awesome guns, super accurate, and I definitely recommend if, you see one of these for a good price, picking it up. Also, if you see one with the original M28 style front sight, you should probably also pick that up because those are pretty uncommon. But yeah, super nice gun, and let us know if you want to see any more out of it, and we'll catch you in the next one.